and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and my guest today is Jeff Benthall. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Robin.
And you are the Executive Director of the Newtown Cultural Center, Newtown Learning Center?
Yes.
And you have exciting news because this gorgeous new building that I drive by every morning that's a little bit down the street off Kickotan is about to open.
Yes, correct. It's scheduled for July 10th as a ribbon cutting, and we're looking forward towards that day whereby we'll officially open the building for the community.
And that's been a long time in the making. Tell me a little bit of the history of how that it'll be the Little, soon your title will be Executive Director of the Little England Cultural Center, right?
Correct.
So what is the genesis of this? How did this center come to be?
It's a off branch or brainchild of Mary Johnson. Some may remember her as one of the founders of that Little England Chapel, which is also located over in that same area, Little England area. And Mrs. Johnson, along with a slew of other people, city officials, neighborhood people, and community activists, and just good-hearted people, saw the need for the restoration of the Little England Chapel, which was originally one of the first places where freed slaves came to worship. General Armstrong donated a piece of land, and there was cooperative outreach to establish a place whereby they could come and worship. And Mrs. Johnson was instrumental in restoration of that. And so the Little England Cultural Center is an offshoot of that, which is going to house the Newtown Learning Center initiatives, which are after-school programs and computer programs for the adults.
Okay, and so the building, for people who haven't seen it, and we're going to show a photograph, but the architecture of it is just beautiful, and it echoes that chapel that's right across. And for people who aren't familiar, this is on Kickotan Road at Ivy Home.
Correct.
Right at that intersection.
Correct.
And it's a two-story building that is a lot of glass. It's just really beautiful. I can't wait to go in it.
It's gorgeous. The outlay of it is absolutely pleasing to the eye, and we're excited to be heading that way. Currently, we're at a location just about 2 blocks down the street from there where we're having programs, but we're excited that the new school year will bring us to that building.
Great. And so tell us what programs you have now, which presumably will continue and just move, because I honestly think this is one of those quiet little centers, and most people outside the neighborhood don't even know it's there.
I think you're right in that, and we've been working hard to try to get more exposure, but it's kind of a catch-22 because at the beginning we had a smaller location, as most people may be aware. It was a smaller building there, and they since then built this new location we're talking about, so we can afford to have more people coming in. But our hopes is to, currently we have about 45 students. Our hopes is to have at least 60 additional after-school kids. So
it's not one of the in-school after-school programs, and this is more of a tutoring. You're helping kids, or is it just keeping them off the streets? I mean, tell me a little bit about what you guys do.
Right. It is an after-school program whereby kids at risk of who can't afford perhaps tutoring service or low income, but particularly those the first outreach is for those in the neighborhood, of course, because it's a neighborhood initiative, but it's also open for the community at large, and it's targeting low income and at-risk kids who otherwise wouldn't have opportunity to get the assistance of homework, help, and tutoring that they would need. And I've been there going on 9 years now, and it's really mind-blowing to know that some of these kids come in, Robin, with D's and F's and literally failing. But since I've been there, we've never had a kid to fail. We've actually had kids coming in with F's and D's going to A and B honor rolls. It's just outstanding. It's outstanding.
Wow. Did these kids mostly go to the schools in the area, like Armstrong, or they?
Yes, most of them are centrally from the feeder schools, we call them.
And who does all this tutoring? How can you handle that many kids? Surely it's not just you.
No. Fact is, we have, I'm the front person. We have a great staff, and the city is a partner with us, and by that they support us through affording teachers. They pay for teachers to be a part of that program. and also assistants. That might be, we have 3 assistants that work part-time and 2 teachers that work along with us, helping these kids to make better grades and close that deficit, learning deficit. And
provide that, positive adult mentorship.
Yes.
And, it's more than just tutoring, I'm sure.
It is. And you're a good point, because most of these kids are on the mindset or of the mindset that they cannot cross that hurdle of learning and learning difficulty. So what we try and do is, of course, give them fundamentally sound educational tools to work with, but also the encouragement, like you said, to help push them up the hill, and through reward systems. When they do well, we reward them through a pizza party, or maybe give them a in-house award and say, you're a great achiever for this marking period, kind of thing. Just little initiatives to keep them focused and going up that hill.
That's great. Now, you don't just work with kids. You have programs for adults as well, right?
Yes, we do. We have probably one of the largest free computer classes in Hampton and Newport News. We have currently about 60 senior adults.
Wow.
That we service from beginners, intermediate to advanced, 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 until 1 p.m. And it's just amazing to see the look on a senior's face when they're learning keyboarding, and they're learning to surf the internet, and they're learning to develop web pages, depending on the course, of course.
That's so important now. I mean, I feel like, and so much of what we do at the city really is we can reach out to people over the internet. Yes. Because it's inexpensive. We can reach so many people with so much fewer taxpayer dollars by doing electronic communications, but it leaves out a big chunk of the population. And I think seniors feel that way about keeping up with their kids and their grandkids too. If they don't live here, I remember my grandfather was in his 90s, and we got him a little web thing that he could do on this TV, because we're bad about picking up the phone, and he didn't have good hearing. But it's hard. It's a daunting thing.
Yes.
For an older generation to look at a computer and know what to do.
It really is. I'm
scared of it. I don't do my own IT. If I buy a new computer, I tell the Apple store, please, you do my setup and copy everything over, because I don't want to, it's hard.
That's true.
It's confusing and scary.
That's true. And your story is common among most of the seniors, because a lot of them, quote, we use the term transferring them from analog to, to 21st century technology and digital age. And to see them come in and then to fast forward 6 weeks later it's mind-blowing to see the advancement and the excitement. Mm-hmm. Most go out and buy computers, laptops, and they're really just surfing the web and having a great time.
That's amazing. Now tell me about the neighborhood you're located in, because it's really a very mixed neighborhood.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes. It's considered the Little England area, Newtown, Little England area. And as you said, it's located, our primary location is right there at Ivy Home Road and Kickingham, on the Kickingham corridor, as they've labeled it. And it has been, as you said, a mixed neighborhood, but very integrated.
Well, you have Crown Point, which is
yes.
a higher income neighborhood, and Merrimack Shores,
yes.
and then it kind of fades to Wythe.
Yes.
And then across the street, you have some apartments that are much more moderate
right.
to lower income.
Right. It is a unique setup. Somehow it works. It's amazing.
Well, and it's good, really, to have that programs for seniors, programs for kids. I mean, you sometimes wonder if there's a synergy that you can get by connecting people within the neighborhoods.
Right.
Do you have volunteers from the neighborhood who help out?
We do. We have probably on the onslaught of 20 to 30 volunteers a year, which is kind of rare in what we do. But people are really available when you really tell the story of what you're trying to do, which is target mainly the at-risk kids and those with learning deficits. They're really amenable to giving their time and donations. We have some of the churches in the area donate the goods and monetary items, funds that we might need on a small scale, but they do what they can do to keep mission moving forward. So it's been a labor of love.
That's wonderful, and that really stretches the taxpayer dollars too,
Yes.
because you do have volunteers and support from within the community that
Yes.
help keep this going.
Yes, and the city has really been a great partner. Most of the things, as we said earlier, they have to support through the teacher funding and as well as any supplies we may need. So it's been a great partnership.
All right, I'm going to ask how you got into this, because you and I knew each other a couple hundred years ago at the Daily Press, and you were selling ads. This is a big career change.
It's a huge career change. I've always, most people don't know this about me, but I've always had a connection with the youth. A partner of mine who worked at the Daily Press as well, Alonzo Cherry.
Oh yeah, I know Alonzo.
Throwing him under the bus, but we would go and coach basketball for at-risk kids in downtown Newport News. We've done that for years, and just other initiatives, Big Brothers and that kind of thing. So it's just it was a natural progression once I left the paper to find something that I could really put heart and soul into, and this was it. The initiatives and the vision and the mission of Mrs. Johnson and people like her in that neighborhood really sold me on that idea.
That's nice. And it's such a shame she did not live to see the fruition of this, that she worked so hard for so many years.
Yes, I agree, totally. And she's sorely missed, but the vision goes on. And so we're so fortunate to have had such a forward thinker. Mm-hmm.
And someone who could get people moving. I mean, that's one, I was not fortunate enough to know her, but one of the things I keep hearing is that she would just never give up. Never. She was never shy about making that phone call and really pushing city officials to take action.
Yes, she was very energized and focused.
Well, what a wonderful asset for Hampton that she was, and what a wonderful legacy she leaves. And I know it wasn't just her, there were a lot of people who helped, but you know, now we will have this gorgeous building to house your wonderful programs.
Thank you, Robin.
Well, is there anything I've forgotten to ask you about, Jeff?
No, I think we covered pretty much all of it. We're just excited and really grateful for the opportunity to tell some of the story. Like you said, there's a lot of people behind the scene and a lot of people that help us look good doing what we do, but the main focus is always and will continue to be to carry on her vision of helping at-risk kids obtain a better view of life and obtain some of the goals that perhaps they wouldn't any other way.
Right, and what that does for them down the road, you know, the longer you wait, the harder it is to get them to catch up. So if you can do it early, it just makes all the difference in the world.
That's right.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. I'm so glad to see you again.
It's good to see you.
Thanks, and thank you for watching Round Robin.